It's late. You're home alone and you can't seem to fall asleep. You decide to watch a movie. You head into the kitchen to grab your favorite snack, salted potato chips. You grab a blanket and make yourself comfortable on the couch. Dexter, your loyal dog, curls up next to you. You grab a chip and pop it into your mouth. Suddenly you can't breathe. You're choking. You begin to get lightheaded from lack of oxygen. You're about to pass out. Dexter notices something is wrong and rushes to your aid. With his front paws, he pounces on your chest, trying to get your attention. The potato chip suddenly gets dislodged and shoots out of your mouth like a rocket. Dexter has just saved your life. Here are 4 stories of dogs that have saved their owners' lives. Number 4, Kelsey, the Golden Retriever. It was New Year's Eve 2016. A man named Bob was sitting by the fire enjoying a cup of hot coffee. Bob lived alone and planned on spending his New Year's snuggled in his chair by the fire, watching some TV. His only companion was his golden retriever named Kelsey. After about an hour, Bob noticed the fire getting low and got up to put another log in the fireplace. He grabbed his fire poker in his right hand and started moving the coals. Bob then reached down with his other hand to grab another log to put on the fire, but the rack was empty. He put on his boots but did not put on his coat. He only planned to be outside for just a minute, just long enough to grab a few logs for the fire. Bob opened the door and stepped out. Behind him, Kelsey would follow. He started moving towards a shed at the back of the yard. That's where he kept the firewood. It was getting dark, and Bob didn't notice some ice that had formed on the ground about 10 feet from the house. He stepped onto the ice. Suddenly, his feet came out from under him and he hit the ground. Bob's neck was broken. Unable to move, he yelled for help as the temperature fell below freezing. Yet no one heard, except his golden retriever, Kelsey. The pup laid on Bob to keep him warm and licked his face to stop him from losing consciousness. Even when Bob couldn't shout anymore, Kelsey would take over. She kept barking, hoping to alert some help. About 20 hours went by laying on the freezing ground with Kelsey still laying on top of him, keeping Bob warm. Finally, a neighbor would hear Kelsey barking and discovered Bob, then calling medical rescue. He was rushed to the hospital, and while he was hypothermic, but didn't have any frostbite thanks to Kelsey. Bob would undergo spinal decompression surgery and after a while was able to regain movement of his limbs. Kelsey, the golden retriever, had saved Bob's life. Number 3. Peanut. Peanut, a rescue dog, had already faced her share of hardships, having been saved from an abusive home. Little did anyone know that her own rescue would lead to her becoming a rescuer herself. One chilly morning in 2017, Peanut, now living with her loving family in Escanaba, Michigan, began acting very strangely. She was usually well-behaved, but on this particular day she was frantic. She barked and scratched at the door, refusing to calm down despite her owner's attempts to soothe her. Sensing something was wrong, her owners decided to let her outside. As soon as Peanut got out, she bolted towards a field behind their house. Her owners followed, puzzled and concerned. They were stunned to find a little girl around 3 years old, shivering and barefoot in the cold, lying in a ditch. The child was alone, scared, and had no coat despite the freezing temperatures. Peanut's owners quickly wrapped the girl in blankets and called emergency services. The authorities soon arrived and took the girl to safety. It was later discovered that the child had wandered away from a nearby home and her absence had gone unnoticed. Authorities found that the home the girl lived at was unsafe, and upon investigation, another girl had to be rescued from the property. Peanut, the abused dog, had given 2 girls a chance at a new life. Number 2. Clover. One brisk March morning in 2021 in Ottawa, Canada, Haley Moore was out for a walk with her loyal Maremma mix, Clover. It was a routine they both enjoyed, a peaceful stroll through their neighborhood. However, this walk was about to take a dramatic turn. Without any warning, Haley suddenly collapsed on the sidewalk, suffering a seizure. Clover, sensing that something was terribly wrong, sprang into action. She initially tried to nudge Haley awake, but when that didn't work, Clover knew she needed to get help. In a display of incredible intelligence and bravery, Clover broke free from her leash. She ran to the middle of the street and stopped in front of an oncoming truck, forcing it to stop. The driver, alarmed by the sight of a dog standing in the road, quickly realized something was wrong when he saw Haley lying on the ground. The driver rushed to Haley's aid and immediately called for an ambulance. Meanwhile, Clover continued to stay by Haley's side, ensuring she was not alone until help arrived. Haley was taken to the hospital and fortunately made a full recovery. Medical professionals and Haley's family were amazed by Clover's quick thinking and heroic actions. The story of Clover's bravery spread quickly, earning her recognition as a true hero. Number 1. Sako. In May 2014, 16-year-old Joseph Phillips Garcia, a member of the Kanaka Bar Indian Band, went on a fishing trip with his aunt, cousin, a friend, and their family dog Sako, a loyal and protective king shepherd. They were driving along a remote road in British Columbia, Canada, when their vehicle suddenly swerved off the road and down a steep embankment, causing a devastating crash. Tragically, Joseph's aunt, cousin, and friend did not survive the accident. Joseph himself was severely injured with multiple broken bones and other critical injuries. Alone and stranded in the wilderness, he was miles from help and faced the grim reality of his situation. However, Joseph was not entirely alone. Sako had survived the crash. Despite his own injuries, Joseph managed to crawl from the wreckage. Sako, sensing his owner's dire need, stayed by his side, offering both comfort and protection. The next few days were incredibly challenging for Joseph as he struggled to survive without food or water, and with the constant threat of wild animals in the area. Sako's loyalty and instincts kicked in. He kept Joseph warm during the freezing nights by lying beside him and even helped to protect him from predators. On one occasion, Sako chased away coyotes that approached their makeshift camp. With no food available, Sako also foraged for small game, ensuring that they had something to eat. For more than 40 hours, Sako remained vigilant, never leaving Joseph's side. The dog's unwavering presence and protective nature provided Joseph with the hope and strength to keep going. Eventually, rescuers found them, having been alerted by family members when the group didn't return as expected. Joseph was airlifted to a hospital, where he received the medical attention he needed to recover from his injuries. Sako's heroic actions did not go unnoticed. He was hailed as a hero, not just by Joseph's family, but by the entire community. Thanks for watching.